Managing relationships with his targets is a full-time job for a quarterback. And when one of them wants a bigger voice in the offense, the guy throwing the passes will hear about it first. Not every Hall of Fame career begins with a superstar debut. Many faces in Canton needed time before they got on the field. Such is how his career is destined to begin.
Set up! Cougar Knights ready!
From the 38 now, here's 2nd down and 7. He'll drop to throw. Forced to his right. I had a defender draped all over him. Incomplete. Good work to body him up and set up a 3rd down. Back to throw. Got it into the hands of Mims. And he is out of bounds. That's his first reception of the ballgame, and it really comes at a good time as they get the conversion on 3rd down. He'll take a shot here for the end zone. The ball deflected at least a couple of times, and it'll fall to the ground. It's incomplete. Back to the air once more on 2nd down. That one's incomplete. Good coverage there. Made it uncomfortable for the receiver. Couldn't hang with it, and it brings up 3rd down. Out of the gun, he'll throw. Taking off, he'll try to get there. What a run. He brings it to the red zone. Taken down inside the 20-yard line. Here's 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Red zone now. He'll drop to throw. This is caught toward the side of the end zone. A.T. Perry. Touchdown, Denver. His first touchdown of the new campaign. Some play by the quarterback. He got flushed by the rush, but Greg made the right choice. Back onto the field comes the Denver offense. Greg, you take a step back and look at the AFC West big picture. This is historic stuff. Chiefs are going for a 10th straight division title, but you have to remember 2 other teams in this division won double-digit games last year. So the question is, are the Chargers and the Broncos that far behind Kansas City?
You know, it sounds crazy. When you mentioned 9 in a row, you think, okay, they're just going to continue to run away with it. But I'm actually fascinated by this division. I think L.A. and Denver are a lot closer to this year's version of Kansas City, maybe than there's a lot of talk about around the rest of the league. So until someone beats them, you'd be crazy to not pick Kansas City. But last year it was a 4-game and a 5-game spread between them. I think this year, coming down the stretch, that spread is going to be a lot tighter.
No, Greg, I'm thinking if I'm a fan or even in the front office for the Chargers or the Broncos or the Raiders, do I build my team to try to knock off the king of the hill? Because you only play Kansas City 2 of those 17 games. So how do you factor that into your construction? It is brought in the end zone. R.J. Harvey. Touchdown, Broncos. For Harvey. Broncos offense going to take over here in the last minute of this first half. The lead sits at 4. So they'll try to add on to that. This drive begins with 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. A quick slant, caught by Boyd. Now a timeout, Denver. That's their 2nd. They stop it here with just under 40 seconds until halftime.
At the 37-yard line.
On the move left. And they'll have it across midfield down at the opposing 46-yard line.
1st down. It's a gain of 17 yards.
On 1st and 10, they'll set up to throw. He'll let one go down the middle.
I think he chalked this one up, Mike, to just a rookie mistake. And anytime you have a young signal caller behind center, you're going to have to deal with some of these ups and downs every once in a while.
The Broncos offense ready to get going again. They'll have it first in this 3rd quarter. You know, Greg, as we get the season going, obviously the adjustment to last year's new kickoff rules in place. We talked to a lot of coaches during the year. folks didn't seem too bothered about letting the other team have the ball at the 30-yard line for a touchback. But the 35-yard line, I don't know, does that feel any different to you?
You know, it does, and I think the part that people don't talk about enough, Mike, is the impact that it's making on going forward on fourth down, not settling for field goals. Because remember, in the old days, if you got stopped inside the 5 or you scored inside the 5, it was all the difference of that I kicked a touchback, they got the ball at the 20. It wasn't that much of a spread, but now all of a sudden, is it in my best interest to settle for a field goal and kick off when I could give you the ball at the 35?
A throw left side, going to be intercepted. Picked off. That's Samuel Womack.
The second down pass intercepted.
Broncos offense getting their final instructions before heading back onto the field. Well, Greg, as the season starts, really the season never ends. Think back to the schedule release, the draft has become this multi-day huge event. Green Bay crushed it with all the folks around the stadium in Lambeau, and some big names will be tied to that draft forever. A couple of the rookies that you've watched that are just sticking out in your mind, interested to see how they fit in the league as this season gets going.
Yeah, you know, obviously so much attention around the quarterback position. Cam Ward goes #1, and then obviously the Shore and all the conversations around that as the draft unfolded. But I think a guy that's going to be fun to watch when you talk about fit, I think you look at Ashton Genty. He gets drafted by Vegas. He's now with the Raiders. Pete Carroll. It kind of has the feel of,
oh, he did all he could to get away, but they're going to catch up to him. It is a big loss. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. He will air this out, looking for Sutton. That's going to be incomplete. Good work by the defender. Body his man up. Wouldn't allow the catch. It'll force 3rd down. Now they'll set up to throw. And he'll get a good chunk of that yardage back, but he's still well short of the 1st down. Broncos offense back onto the field for their next possession. Greg, it's one of those weird feelings you build all year for the opener. You play a tight game and lose. It kind of changes the feeling coming into this week a little bit.
yeah, it certainly does, and if you're not careful, what's that cardinal rule? You don't want one loss to turn into 2, one bad play to turn into 2. The best teams in this league, Mike, they have an uncanny ability that regardless, good or bad, blowout or close one from the previous week before, it doesn't lead into the next week's work and ultimately the next week's game. So we'll find out, were they able to learn from the good? And there certainly was a lot of it. But can they move forward today and not let the disappointment of last week trickle into today?
A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. They'll look to throw. Once to his right.
So often the best pass defense is a good pass rush, and that's exactly what we saw here. The pass rush disrupted this play from the very start. The quarterback has all of his attention on the rushers rather than his receivers downfield. All he can manage to do is get back to the original line of scrimmage.
This crowd into it now as we get to 3rd down. He'll get a dozen out of that one, scrambling his way to a 1st down. Ball rests at the 37. It's 1st and 10.
At the 37-yard line.
He'll look to throw. Inside the 10, it is caught. And they're going to get this all the way down inside the 5.
It's a gain of 33.
It's a big play when they needed it the most. 33 yards. An opportunity for what could be a game-sealing touchdown right here. 1st down and goal. That is caught, and he's going to be down close to the goal line. Good job defensively to make sure he did not get to the end zone.
Brings up 2nd and goal.
That one to the end zone, but incomplete. Half yard, that's all they need on this 3rd and goal. Here comes the blitz as he looks to throw. That is caught side of the end zone. Evan Ingram. Touchdown, Denver. The Broncos offense ready to see what they can do with this next possession. This game all even now following that touchdown a moment ago, and they'll look to retake the lead on this drive that starts with first down. They'll drop to throw. Forced out wide. Here is 2nd and 7.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Throwing now from the gun. Oh, and a crusher there. He can't get a throwaway, and he's taken down. The crowd cranking it up another notch before 3rd and long. He'll take a shot with Mims. That ball intercepted. Picked off. That's Samuel Womack. And he's going to give a short field to his offense here as they try to break the tie. Back onto the field comes the Denver offense. They'll try to establish some tempo as they start this one with 1st and 10. Now a first throw here in overtime. Open man downfield. It's Boyd. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield. They'll look to throw here on first down. A ball deep for the end zone. This one batted away. It's incomplete. Good hands there in the end zone. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Blitz coming. He'll throw it. That one incomplete. Good job. Textbook there. Separated the man from the ball. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Brings up a 3rd down and 10 yards.
He'll take a shot with Mims. That is brought in. And he'll be taken down. So the big play gets him down close. And now it's 1st and goal.
And the Broncos first down.
They'll look to throw yet again. That's to the end zone, but it is incomplete. Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. They'll look to throw again. That's to the end zone, but they cannot connect. It's incomplete. 2 incomplete passes now lead to this 3rd down and goal. On the run to the right. Good blocking, and he's in. Touchdown, Broncos. The defense comes up with the cover.